I used to respect a lot of the creators I'm going to talk about today. Not anymore.
So a lot of people have been asking me for story videos recently. I have a few I'm gonna do, like the FBI story and the one about me just being like disgustingly intoxicated around my family. So those are definitely coming, like, you know, down the pipeline. They're on the way in the workshop. But today I'm gonna do a video just talking about when I was a really small channel. I think maybe it will be interesting to some of you guys. If it's not, I don't care, I'm doing it anyway. Oh, and also, welcome to the Tom Dark channel. I'm your host, Tom Dark. Yeah, let's go.
I do feel bad for shitting on his moment, deserved or not. And it's like, all right, Keemstar, you know, thanks for tweeting that out, I guess, you know.
I've talked about Leafy a lot on this channel and his content, looking like he may be back online soon, so that's cool. And he was really important to creating the kind of commentary genre and, you know, forming it into what it is today. He was important to actually getting me to make videos back in the day from watching his stuff and being, like, inspired by his work ethic, his grind set. But honestly, in terms of actual content, I didn't really take much inspiration from him, especially in the beginning. I had posted videos like movie reviews when I was in 8th grade or something. I think I reviewed Batman v Superman. I was just this little kid looking at my iPhone 5C camera, wanting to be Chris Stuckman. But those videos have long since been deleted and there are no archives of them. I kind of wish I still had them, not gonna lie, but whatever. I remember recording like a few of them at my grandmother's house and then editing them in Windows Movie Maker and posting them. Ah, memories. Anyway, my memory of back then is kind of hazy, but I know I got into commentary videos like probably a few months before the content cop, maybe 6 months. The one about Leafy, that is. But as soon as that video happened, basically everybody who was anybody just jumped ship on Leafy and abandoned him. I didn't know him or anything, I was just this little spurg, but even if you watch my old videos back then, I was like, this guy's a piece of shit.
So the obvious biggest member of this community is Leafy is here. But due to the fact that Leafy's horse has been beaten to the point of non-existence, why even bother? What he makes for content is shit, he's a shit person, pretty self-explanatory if you ask me, case closed.
Which is really gay looking back, even if he did some questionable things. The whole Nick Cash event wasn't really a big deal, but for some reason that was what everyone in the community looked to, like, oh, we won't pay people that works for him. Like, no, he did offer to pay him. The guy could have asked for more. He was just being a little bit of a pussy.
I mean, he ended up paying me $50, but that's not fucking shit.
Okay, I mean, you know what, 50 was kind of low for the work he was doing. I probably would have paid him like 200, but agree to a price beforehand or ask for more. Well, anyway, for some reason, even back then, I liked talking about commentary as a genre and as a community, but the people I looked up to a lot were honestly like I Hate Everything and people like him. Probably Grade A Under A is included in this. There was a time I was against gameplay videos altogether because I thought it was lazy, and I mean, it is kind of lazy, no doubt, but the reason why I thought that was because I didn't consider it to be quality content. What was quality content to me was people who wrote and edited their videos and put a lot of time into like artwork and shit like that. I had a big respect for people who made that kind of content. I did some videos with Overwatch gameplay early on. Keep in mind, this gameplay was not like mine or anything. It was just gameplay that I found on YouTube. I just looked up like free Overwatch gameplay and then ripped that. But my introduction to the community was from this guy named Novaside. Back then, I didn't get a lot of comments on my videos. I'd probably get like 100 views max and like maybe 10 comments if I was lucky. But one of them on these absolutely shit videos, I think I gave him my email at the time, and then we started talking, you know, via email back and forth a little bit. We talked about the community, and eventually he was like, hey man, if you want to talk more, get on Skype. I had never used Skype before, but I downloaded it and joined, and that was basically my real introduction to the commentary community and like any sense of online community in general.
I'ma put a ride on ya, kid from California, tryna.
He added me to a few group chats of like probably 50 people each or whatever the max was for a Skype chat at the time. People were pretty much always like obnoxiously active in those. Like there was never a fucking dead moment. No one was ever offline. Somehow there was always like some new story or whatever. And it was basically just all of these corny kids like me with 60 subscribers who were trying to make YouTube videos and get big on YouTube. It wasn't even about the money for us because at the time money meant nothing to us. It wasn't like we were really struggling for cash. We were all like late middle school, early high school. I, in particular, was just this middle to upper middle class kid wasting my time after school making like shitty little videos. It was just a fun pastime because I was bored. Eventually, I realized everyone was on Twitter, so I made a Twitter too. Or maybe I already had one and then I just kind of joined the community through that. I don't know exactly. I think I joined Twitter in 2015. Anyway, now I was officially a part of the commentary community, right? I had a channel, I had a Skype, I had a Twitter, and that was really all you needed. Didn't matter if you were anyone of note, you just had to self-identify as that. I remember back then, despite the fact that our channels were so small and we had literally like nothing to lose. Everything was so autistically serious. People would get shit talked by someone on Skype or get their e-girl stolen, and all of a sudden it was a drama and we were on calls talking about making videos exposing someone. I personally didn't jump on stuff like that because my channel was starting to get some direction, and for some reason I just didn't feel the need to like pitch in on drama like that in videos themselves. But definitely on Twitter I was like super involved in all this cancer. I remember back then kids were okay with threatening to dox people or DDoS them and stuff like that, which is kind of funny looking back because absolutely no one was doing any of that. I mean, maybe doxing if you had face revealed to someone, but apart from that, like, nothing was really going to happen. I remember personally my face was kind of private, and then this kid like leaked it publicly, and I was like, this fucking piece of shit doxed me, which is true, and like he still sucks, especially for other reasons. But yeah, I mean, there were no real consequences that came of my face being leaked. Typically people who ascended to more than a few thousand subscribers did it through kind of being massive dorks and just clout chasing, or just making cancer that somehow got some attention from the algorithm. There was this one kid named Luatic who I was actually cool with later on, I think, but he got a few thousand subs, I think, from this video he made called like Meeting Pyrocynical, where he just got into a Discord call with Pyro. One of the kids I used to shit on a ton was this kid named Evan Pig. Can't remember why, but me and my buddies fucking despised him for some reason. I think he was probably just annoying and made bad videos.
Shit, my editing isn't good as well, but this is a video criticizing Wild Spartans and not me. Back on topic of his content is stale, he makes videos that everyone has already seen, or it seems rushed and unscripted.
Things were very condescending and cutthroat at the time, so to speak, and probably because the impression that a bunch of us kids had gotten was that the way to the top was drama. When in reality, most people in the genre that had like, you know, hundreds of thousands to millions of subs really got big from making videos where they just made fun of things or gave their opinion on something or like told a story. They really only did drama videos later on when they started to hate each other, or in some cases they thought they had to like expose their friends for some reason, or in others they straight up did it for money. But as I said, none of us were doing it for the money, at least at the time. And even if we wanted to, we couldn't because no one was watching our videos because they just really sucked. So there was no way we were gonna make anything in AdSense. Regardless, we still somehow got into like a ton of drama with each other, and there was all of this lore to it.
I'm a 10-year-old spastic cunt who has an ego the size of my 3 fucking chins hanging over my fat face. I always try to talk to bigger YouTubers in the commentary community to feel like I'm relevant, and that doesn't work well. I resort to make Twitter banners for them, even though they never asked for one. Whenever I'm in a Discord call with my mates and we're talking about video ideas and whatnot, I randomly tend to burst out that my videos are 10 times better than theirs just to seem like I'm the biggest person in the group.
Where they don't really play the game, they just show off their like tits or asses, all that other stuff, but they can't really like flash them.
Creators like I'm Alex, Wild Spartans, Pyrocynical, Kylos, Chubbs, No Fuckers, Leon Lush, they're all the same person. They make the same video every day. How the
Like, I think back then I could probably draw you a chart of like 50 shitty Twitter profile pictures, half of which were furries, a third of which were just these like really kind of annoying meme profile pictures, and the other third of which were like cartoon drawings like me. And I could just draw you this like diagram of like, this guy hates this guy, this guy hates this guy, this guy hates this guy, but this guy likes this guy, and then these people are friends, but they have some, you know, they're probably gonna get into a fight soon. Like, it was kind of sad how the thing was to know who hated each other. Most of us didn't have computers or like full computers either. I mean, I still make videos on a laptop because I hate myself, but I think most of us were probably either on like kind of bad computers our parents had bought us. I think my first laptop my parents bought me for like $350, $400 or something, and I used that for like, I think I used that until almost the end of high school, honestly, to make videos. But some people were making videos on like school computers, iPads. This one kid I think had a Kindle Fire or something and was making videos and somehow had like 500 subs.
He makes videos that everyone has already seen, or it seems rushed and unscripted.
So yeah, none of us had any idea what we were doing or were taking it seriously in any capacity. None of us had invested money into like equipment, except for a few dorks who had a few thousand subs superficially. I was also in this group chat at the time. It was called The Supreme. There was like a rap song and music video for it that's been lost to time, I think, for now, but I think the bar about me was something like, yeah, I'm Turkey Tom, I'm the smartest artist, or some shit like that. Really cringy for sure, but basically the music video featured probably 30 people in it, and out of those people, I think I remember 3 or 4 of them by name. There was this dog guy named Corgi or something. There was me, and I think Novaside was in there. There was this fat kid named Bubsies. He's actually who like the fat Turkey Tom drawing you may recognize was supposed to be of. Oh yeah, so that drawing was from like a promotional video that I made for The Supreme. I forgot we were all promoting this dumbass group chat. I can't seem to find it right now, unfortunately. I asked someone who might have it for it, and they couldn't find it. If I ever do another video like this, maybe I'll put it in it, but yeah, I have no idea where it is right now. So the group chat I was in was not the only group chat. Later on, there was one called Signature Red. Later on, I joined a group chat called the NCO, but that was a few years later. And this is because back then there was kind of like a really gay hierarchy to the community, which I think is mostly faded away now, but there was a specific like order of how things went. With Leafy gone, the top of the food chain was Pyrocynical. Then below him, you had all the people he shouted out and gave a head start, like I'm Alex, Zaptai, probably Wild Spartans would be included in that category. Colossal is Crazy, maybe in that tier, I don't know. It was all people who were under the Pyro umbrella. Then a step down, you had people under the I'm Alex umbrella. And this was a group chat, I believe, called the CDL, the Commentary Defense League. What a name. I don't remember everyone who was in there, but the top dogs at the time were like ML Joe, King of Kazoos, Vanilla Rice, who by the way had a very funny moment on Tommy C's show at one point.
Yes, so I just wanted to spread the good word of Lads on Tour. And
fuck off, man. I'll fucking ban you from my server, you fuck prick. You gonna plug your shit when I'm talking about something like this? You don't give a fuck about these kids?
I know, I do.
You don't give a fuck about these guys? I'm not even kidding with you, pal. I'm not even joking. I know you're trying to get famous and all that other give, and I actually kind of like your work, but you would actually do that when you see that I'm fucking this pissed off for real? What the fuck is the matter with you?
I know that right now everyone likes to use these tier lists to like rank people or, I don't know, show how good their content is, but we didn't use shit like that back then. We used this weird pyramid thing. And I think like 1 or 2 people had made these pyramids, and basically if you weren't on the pyramid, you weren't shit. You were a fucking nobody, piece of shit, irrelevant, gum on the bottom of my shoe, deserve to be crushed by my jackboot. And yeah, I know this image is like 4 pixels total. The tweet this was on is deleted, unfortunately, so all I have is the Google Images preview, but basically, like, if you can kind of make out some of the profile pictures in there, there was definitely a big, like, social click thing, where if you were in the group, you could be higher up, and if you weren't, then you were just lower, and that's kind of how it was.
While there are many aspects of YouTube that interest me and leave me very intrigued over the idea of them, one idea which has always perplexed me the most is the concept of a face reveal.
You know, I actually get why my girlfriend used to bully these old videos so much. They are truly something else. At this point, I was really into art and animation, so I downloaded this free drawing software called Fire Alpaca, which was pretty decent, and I started drawing digital art and implementing it into my videos. This later turned into these super crude animations. I would kind of waver my channel direction from making these very odd ones out ripoff type things to like talking about the state of the commentary community or whatever, making fun of Cabos. Despite the fact that I was inconsistent with style and stuff like that, I was kind of learning how to find a footing in terms of content. I had a thumbnail style, I had like an intro and outro, I had specific art I was using. I structured my videos, I think, pretty well for someone like my age at the time.
Their identities, utilizing the concept of online anonymity to keep their personal life and their face separate from their internet persona. A wise move from my point of view. On this website and on the internet in general, you never really know who you'll be meeting. This isn't me being an obnoxious parent or Fox News telling you your child is going to be sexually assaulted because they have Animal Crossing on their Nintendo 3DS. It's really just something to consider. Do you really want your face out there on the internet?
I had a sense of kind of wanting to make good content rather than just going with the crowd and doing gameplay videos, which is kind of funny because at the time I just wanted to imitate the attitudes of someone like I Hate Everything and probably Zaptai.
It takes me a good 3 to 4 days to make a typical search for the worst episode, the script that spans over multiple pages, the recording and editing of audio, and then the actual composing of the video and editing software. I mean, it's not something to be scoffed at.
I used to shit on a lot of people for making bad content that blew up, probably more than anything. I had a direct aversion to gameplay videos at the time, probably because there was this big like push for people to use Facecam now. And looking back, I don't think it was just condescension from me. I mean, that was probably a little bit of it. Okay, that was a lot of it. It was just a very gay like mentality I had. But a lot of people at the bottom were just making bad videos, to be completely honest. There was this one kid named Amate who just made the worst videos fucking ever. I think he blew up from like Cuphead cringe reaction videos or something like that. But he was grinding, you know, he was posting every day, so I guess I have to respect the grind set, the hustle, Grussel. Credit to Kai Clips for that meme. All of his videos are gone, but there are still some really funny ones out there if you try to look hard enough.
I do not think we should give any publicity to him because remember, this guy did this just to get some fame and relevancy, and we should not give that to somebody who tries to invade somebody's privacy.
Eventually, my channel got a little bit of traction and my videos got better and better. They were still pretty cringe and I definitely like wasn't very good at writing or editing. Everything was kind of corny to it, but I had something going for me. Looking at these old videos, I kind of realized that the videos back then were not very good, but the reason why people kind of stuck with me and decided to be friends with me and even praise any of my shit was because you could tell there was something there that I was working on. And so even while there was this inherent cringe factor to everything I did, I think they expected there would be some event horizon where I eventually just became some level of more self-aware and got better from that point.
But there are a few things that I need to touch on in regards to the channel and I. First of all, I'd like to thank you guys for all the support support I've been receiving lately. This summer has been great for me due to increased views and me gaining 600 subscribers in a small burst of popularity. The growth has already slowed down, so I'm not expecting to hit 1K for a little while, but I'll still try to make the best content possible.
As time passed, I grew a little more, and eventually I kind of drifted away from a few of the smaller guys in the community that I knew. This wasn't out of spite, but at the time, many of them just kind of left and went on because they weren't really dedicated to YouTube or anything like that. They had other things to do, and I just kept going. I started making videos with other channels like Sergeant Ducky, who at the time had like 1,000 subscribers, and I was really starting to feel like a big shot, okay? You know, I had a little bit going for me. But going back to shitting on content, I used to really go after people for making videos that I considered to be bad, alright? Little 15-year-old Tom got a real kick out of just shitting on people and seeing their reactions. I remember one time I made this like tweet about Quite's videos being bad, like right when he started to blow up or something, and immediately I got like iNabber in my replies being like, "You're clearly just jealous that he's blowing up." And like, maybe I was a little bit, but I think I still didn't like his videos. Anyway, in January of 2018, I ended up tweeting at Kavos about how I thought his videos were dog shit and he was like milking topics. And that tweet got a lot of attention from Keemstar for whatever reason. He saw it and he was like, "This little kid ain't shit." At the time, this wasn't all that long after the Baited breakup, and I kind of had known Tommy C a little bit at that point. I called into his show a few times back in the day, but it was kind of a daily ritual for me to get home from school and watch Shot from the Point at like 3 o'clock p.m. because that's when it was on. It was just a very convenient time. That show really made me feel connected to a community that I didn't really have a lot of involvement in or pull in, despite the fact that at the time I had only like called in or been on once, and like Tommy C had really no idea who I was. People would always go on the show when drama was happening, and it was kind of like a community hub. Tommy knew a lot of big people, so there was a lot of pull there. Oh yeah, and like he was an entertaining guy and had like a good, you know, radio voice and format, and he was interesting to listen to and all that stuff, yeah.
Comments for his last 5 videos being about the Paul brothers. I wonder why. Because the Paul brothers have been fucking up recently. But since you think this is such a fair criticism, let's talk about your channel. Okay, first of all,
I added the screenshot to the tweet, and then I decided whether or not I should actually do the little @ symbol before Kavos' name, which makes a difference in whether he sees it or not, of course. I decided, hey, why not? Not like he's gonna respond to me or anything.
you only have 4,000.
And during the Keemstar shit, he defended me, which got some more eyes on my channel as well. I remember when that stuff was happening, I was in like social studies or civics class, and this was like the day after the night where Keem had tweeted at me. I like left class to call Tommy C in some hallway and talk to him about the drama. I remember all my like buddies at school, like the few that knew about my channel, were like, "Holy shit, Keemstar like acknowledged you, holy shit," because we were all big iDubbbz and Leafy heads. So Tommy C defended me during the Keemstar stuff, which got a lot more eyes on my channel, and before long I kind of became one of the people that Tommy would talk about and mention from time to time. There were some channels he had taken under his wing that were smaller, like probably Willie Mac Show and Wavy Web Surf. People who probably weren't making the best content at the time. I mean, looking back, they were both making way better content than me. Especially Willie, honestly, he's always been ahead of the game, but that's besides the point. Basically, Tommy saw small channels that had potential and he tried to, you know, get a few more eyes on them and point them in the right direction. And so from time to time now, I would get mentioned on Tommy's stream.
Okay. I will. I think the best. I can't really. I've done as much as I can to show what's going on in the commentary community. How young people are being intimidated.
Oh no, I know that. I know that.
Attack other people, which is ridiculous. It's okay if they're fucking making videos saying each other's content sucks. This is the next level. It's not YouTube drama. This is YouTube corruption.
I know it's serious.
Which, not gonna lie, it felt pretty good. I looked up to him a lot of the time, and it kind of felt neat to be, you know, at least somewhat respected by him. Later on, I met people like The Right Opinion, and we continued grinding. By this point, I was kind of out of the smaller parts of the community. I had pulled myself out of the sludge. I had like a few thousand subs or something like that, maybe 4 or 5K. I got a shout out from Quentin Reviews, which got me like 500, 600 subs, which looking back is kind of funny considering how things went, but yeah, that was kind of cool. I kept trying to post videos consistently as much as I possibly could, and everything was looking up. It's very weird to think about now because I'm talking about all these old videos and what happened over gameplay footage. 15-year-old me is probably cutting himself right now, or he would if he could see me. He'd be like, "Holy shit, it's time to self-harm, Turkey Tom. What have I become?" He's also probably mad that I moved on from exclusively listening to like Green Day and Weezer. But here we are, 3, 4, 5 years later. Very strange to look back at all of this and just kind of have like a bird's eye view on it. Thinking about it now, I think I have a clearer memory of everything. Maybe I repress some of these memories, you know, as time has gone on, because I feel like so much has happened online since then. Sometimes people will ask me for advice on YouTube via email. Honestly, it's been so long since I started, and I don't really know what advice I could give most of the time. Like, I'm not the most put together person in the world, and even in terms of like the YouTube strategy, I don't really know. I will say that lately I've been really maximizing my time and trying to put out the most content possible, because, well, I just really care about YouTube, and I figure that, you know, this is the opportunity I've been given. This is something that when I was younger, I never thought I would have. And so I kind of owe it to myself right now to put in the most effort possible and make the most best videos possible. I've made a lot of mistakes on YouTube, in case that isn't obvious, so there are a lot of things to avoid. Probably if you want to make content like me, just look at my track record and realize like, okay, Tom did this, Tom did that. Probably shouldn't do that for one reason or another. But honestly, when people ask me how to start a YouTube channel, like, you just have to kind of go at it. You just have to start making videos. They're not going to be the best at first, and that might be something you have to accept.
But no, he makes absolute garbage.
Probably gonna have some like cringe past in 4 or 5 years from whatever you're doing now that you'll just have to accept. But I think honestly, if you're motivated enough at it and work hard enough, eventually you will succeed and get somewhere. Yeah. Okay, bye.